Okay, here we are back inside MatrixGold once again. Thanks for tuning in. Hope the videos are helping you in your designing process. If they are, please go ahead, smash that subscribe button, tap on that notification bell, leave me a like, and please take 5 seconds, drop a comment down below. I'd really appreciate that. Help me out. And if you think the video is or the content is useful, please go ahead and feel free to share the content. Let's help everyone out, right? Today, what we're going to do is make a seamless texture. And there's some things that you should probably be aware of as you do it. We want everything laid out nice and even, right? So that everything can be cut in half so that when we go to do the pattern, it will all lay out perfectly, right? So we're going to do it so that we can save it in our smart pattern, and you can also go ahead and save it in your textures. And I showed another video on how to use show Z buffer and then save to a file so that you can always go back and save that texture and use it later in your texturing or your clay emboss texturing, right? Which is another video out there you can check out as well. So you could use this in there too after you save it, doing the texture way, not the smart pattern way, if that makes sense. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and get going on this. First thing I'm going to do is switch to my red layer, and I'm just going to grab a box and I'm going to turn on grid snaps, and we are set at 1. So I'll go over here and snap it right there 5 over, and then bring it down 5, so we have a 10 by 10 box out here, right? And that's kind of what is going to be our setup, right? So we'll take that red there and we'll just go ahead and we will lock it so we can't select it, right? We're just going to use it as reference. We can still snap to it, which we will be doing. So next thing we need to do is go ahead and get our first piece of our pattern out there. And I think we'll just use Smart Curve, and we will come down here. Well, first let's change it to our creation layer. Let's go in here, symmetry, yes, vertical, closed, yes, on. This first piece doesn't really matter. We just want to try and get it in as center as possible. So we're just going to go over 1, and it's a symmetry, so it'll go over 1. And then we'll make it bigger down here at the bottom. I'll just take it to that squared off there, right there. And we'll just go ahead and right click and accept that. Now it's centered as far as with this, but not in our center, right? So what we want to do is first we'll just go ahead, grab that just to make sure it's in our center, and we'll just center it up so now we know it's exactly in the center. And what we'll do now is we'll go to scale 1D. We'll select that curve. We'll go ahead and hit enter, and then we'll, from that quad there, we'll come down to the quad on the bottom and then drag it down with our mid intersection point snaps on, and click right there. And I'm going to right click and click on that curve again and hit enter, and we'll go from that point we just locked in up to the top, and we'll drag it up to there. So now we have it right with that line and this line, so it's right in the center. Everything's laid out good, so everything should work for us, hopefully. Next thing I'm going to do, and this can be tricky, so you have to be a little patient when you lay it out in order to get everything so that it will be seamless when we're done. So I'm going to go back to my curves. I'm going to right click this time so I get both sides, right? If you look at the drop down there, once the left is lined, the other one is both sides. So we're going to right click and we'll just go to F4 right from the center, and I'll hold down shift so that we go straight out, and now I have that intersection there. I'm going to click right there. I'm going to take that curve and switch it to this color just so because I really don't need it after I do these next couple steps. Just want to get rid of it very quickly without getting rid of the other stuff. That's why I switched the color, but that's, again, it's personal preference. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab me left click this time on the line. I just wanted to go one direction. I'm going to go snap to the center there, the mid, or F4, and then I'm going to hold down shift and drag it up however I want. I'm going to take it up around 2.5, somewhere around there. And then you can take it up any height you want, but remember you can always readjust this when you do your smart pattern or texture. So you can adjust those too. So let's go ahead and grab an arc, and I'll go to my third one down, arc direction. I will snap from the top there, so I have my end snap. And now this one, you want to be very careful. You want to make sure you're grabbing it right there where those intersect, those two lines intersect, and then click on that. And then I'm just going to hold down shift and draw it out something like this here, right? So we have our little ready to be swept, right? Okay, so we'll go to surface and we will do a rail revolve here. Rail revolve. We'll click on that, and it says to select profile curve. That's our profile, right? So we'll select that. Select our rail curve. That'll be this thing here. Now it says axis, right? Rail revolve axis. That'll be the bottom of our curve there to the top of our curve, and it gives us that surface, right? Which is what we want. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to change that one to green. Right? Okay. And let's go back to, here. All right. We want to be very cautious how we lay this out now. All right. So I'm going to, this curve through the center here, we really don't need anymore. So that's why I did. I'm just going to turn it off. But I do want to, you don't have to select it all, but it just kind of makes it easier, I think. And we can always get rid of that later. So I'm just going to select the whole thing here. I'm going to go to duplicate from that bottom right there, F4, and then I'm going to hold down shift over to this side, right in the mid there, intersection, and then I'm going to right click, right? And I'm going to take this right away and go to my transform, and I'm going to mirror it, and then right click to accept it. And now I'm going to take this, well, we'll just leave it like that for right now. Just remember we mirrored that, so it's going to create another extra step as we move on. But right now this is set to the center of the line there, right through the center, right, and this is the end, and that's through the center there. So far so good. Okay. Now let's see. I'm going to take my turn on my red. I'm going to take my box, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to nuke it. Okay, so now we have 4 pieces out there, right? I'm going to take that line right at the top there and at my bottom here, hold down shift, so I got both those. Do them at one time, might as well. And then we'll scroll down here to our point object, and we'll do the drop down here. Divide curve by number of segments. And I need to get this right in the center of these curves, right? So I'm going to divide curve by number of segments, and I am only going to do 2. So it'll give me a segment here and then a segment there, and I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. Okay. Now I guess you didn't really have to do that. You could just do a split in the mid, but I'm going to do a split. So I'm going to right click at point, this curve here, and then go ahead and click there, and then right click. So now I have 2 pieces, and it'll break history, no big deal. I'm going to right click, bring back this here, and we're going to snap it right there. So really you didn't need to divide it, but there you go. So now we have it set there, right? Now I'm going to go ahead and select that one in the center again, and I am going to duplicate it from that midpoint there to that midpoint there, that midpoint there, this midpoint, and this midpoint, and right click. So now we have all this laid out, right? Something like that. Okay. So far so good. Let's go ahead and take yellow, and we'll just change it to gray and hide it. We don't need that anymore. And these points here we probably don't need, so I'll just go ahead, select those points, delete them, and we'll go ahead and grab these points, delete them. Can I get, no, I have to get rid of them individually. And we'll get rid of these 2 here, and all these here, don't need them. All right, so we just have this. And I got rid of my 2 red lines, but I need those. So let's go back here. There we go. Let's go ahead and lock red. Oh, can't lock it. There we go. Now we can. Let's turn, oh, that's on. We'll go ahead and we'll lock this as well. I just want to get rid of those points. They bug me. So I selected them, and we'll just turn them to gray. select those points. No, not letting me select those points. None do. Why? Select those points. Okay, well, those points don't want to get rid of, so we'll just leave them there. Okay, I'm going to grab this red. I'm going to grab all the red there. I'm going to hold down shift so I go both directions and just drag that up, right? And it closed it off, so I'm going to hold down shift control and select that one, shift control, select this one, and I'm just going to delete them. We could do a Boolean intersection, but these are not closed, so we don't want to do that right now. And this, oh, it gave me those points. So let's grab this thing here. I'm going to hide it. And it grabbed all those. That's why I didn't want those points. So let's go ahead and get rid of those. And let's bring back our box. And I'm going to take that box and we'll go ahead and put it to cutter layer. All right. All right. So yeah, it looks like it's laid out. It's over around the edges there, which is good. So everything should lay out okay. So let's go ahead and take all our green and let's split it with our cutter there and then hit enter. So it does all that cutting. And we should be able to get rid of this, and oh, not that. Well, that's okay. Now this, okay, got rid of it. All right, so there's our item, right? But we got all this in here, but that's okay for right now. We want to check everything to make sure it's going to lay out okay. So let's grab all this here. Let's turn it to gray. And now it lets me select that. I don't know why. Anyway, let's move on. We want to check to make sure before we go any further how it's going to lay out, right? So what we're going to do is before we do all that cutout in the bottom and everything, we might as well, you don't have to do it if you're going to do a texture. If you're going to do show Z buffer, you know, if you're going to do a texture, save it to your texture, all you do is show Z buffer, and this will be fine. You don't need to cut all that out down there because you're only going to be using the top. And that's in the other video, so that texturing video, check that out. It was just done a couple weeks ago or something, like maybe a month ago at the latest. All right, so we got this out here. Let's go ahead and check it first before we do any extra work. So we're going to go to transform. We're going to go to array. Number in our X, we'll just do 3 for checking, and we'll hit enter. And Y, we'll do 3 just for checking. And we'll keep it at 1 for our Z because we don't need any below there. And then we'll go ahead and select on this point right here, and then swerve over to this point right here, and then hit enter. And then hit enter. And now we want to check it to make sure. So the easiest way to check it is here, and everything looks like it is laid out pretty nicely. So it looks like we're good to go. That texture will be fine, right? So we can kind of finish it up and get it ready for everything else that we need to do. Well, let's go back. There we go. That's what we want. Let's go forward one. There we go. So now we can, if you're going to save it to your smart pattern, right? If you're going to save it to the smart pattern, you'll probably want to go ahead and get rid of these cuts because you'll have to do it later. So might as well do it now and save it, right? So let's put some, give it to different shading. So we got this piece here. Let's go ahead and cut this piece, split with this, and this, and hit enter. And we'll hit cancel because I didn't want to cancel it. We do want to split it. So let's select this, split with cutting surfaces, these, and hit enter, and then hit OK. And then we'll select all these. And this one here, and make sure we got everything. We might have to go back and do a little extra, and then we'll split with this one in the center and then hit enter, right? And then we should be able to start. Now that one doesn't look like it's split. Oh, okay. Yeah, it didn't because. All right. So this one and this one. Split with this one, and then hit enter. So hopefully that, yeah, there we go. Get rid of that. That we need. Get rid of that. Let's just go ahead and find the ones we get rid of and get rid of those. This needs to be split with this and this, then hit enter. So we'll get rid of that, get rid of that. Start getting rid of all these little extra pieces. That'll need to be split. So we'll have to do some more splitting. That we need. Okay, so this is the fun part. Well, I guess what we could do to make it easier, let's go back, let's abort this. Let's just go back to work. Okay, abort. Let's go back, just put all those pieces back in there and we'll get rid of those points. All right. It'd probably be better if we go all the way back. Before we did any of that splitting, right? And we'll just go ahead, take all green and go to cap, C-A-P, enter. So now these should be polysurface, right? So we'll just get rid of this box here and select that red, hold down shift, drag it up. Now we'll just go ahead and do a Boolean. Well, before we do that, let's go ahead and hide that blue here real quick. So we'll switch to red, take this, hide it for a second. So we have all this out here, right? So let's go ahead and join all those together. So Boolean union here, enter at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, enter. Get all those joined together. It may or may not. We might have, I don't know if it'll do them all because they're intersected right there, right? So it looks like it's going to freeze up on me. Yeah, I didn't think, did I do Boolean intersection? Okay, so we don't want that. So let's just do them individually. Boolean difference I did. We want Boolean union. So there, enter, and then we'll do this one and enter, enter. So we have these three. We'll get rid of those in a second. Let's take these three Boolean union with this. Let's Boolean union first surface, these three, enter. We'll do this one and enter. So those will all be grown together, right? So we'll take this one, this surface here, Boolean union. No. Grab these, right click a parameter for some reason. So I'll just right click to select the Boolean union. This enter, this one, enter, and enter. Now we have all those, right? So let's go ahead and hide them. And now those are individual. So we'll go ahead and save them. And then we'll bring back this and turn our blue back on. And we'll do a Boolean intersection, right? So we'll grab this, Boolean intersection, second surface this, enter, and enter. Okay, so that we'll get rid of, and all that blue will just turn off, and we have this thing here, right? Now we can go in here and hold down Shift Control, right? Shift Control, select this surface, Shift Control, select that surface, and this surface, and our bottom. And we'll just go ahead and delete those. Oh, there's one that we didn't want to take. So this one, this one, this one, this one, and we'll delete those. So we got that, right? Yeah, and now we can just take all that there and delete that. And there is our surface that we can use, right, for our smart pattern, right? And what we can do here is we have it. So we want to save it in our smart pattern, but we want to bring it back out, right? So what we're going to do here before we do that is we're going to go and open up our Rhino properties here. And if you don't know how, you type in options, go to toolbars and load in your Rhino options in there. So we'll go here, we'll select on this, right? And if you go to, so it's been a while, ISO curve density, show ISO surface ISO curves, right? We can just click that off, which cleans it up quite a bit, right? So be easier to load, less curves. Those are knots out there right now. The only thing you can see is knots, no ISO curves. So when we load it back up to do our smart patterns, it should be just a little bit faster for us, right? So we'll just go ahead and take that. Let's go to transform and smart pattern. Select surface. And let's see. Okay. All right. So we can't save it from here. What we're going to do, let's get rid of that. Let's select this and we'll go up here to our M and we'll go to our export, right? Export it. And we'll find where our matrix gold is, matrix gold right here. And we'll go to a library and we'll go to smart pattern. And we have all our smart patterns in there. So we'll just put it in here and we'll put in SCALES, scales, SNAKE, snake, and we'll name it that. And we'll just go ahead and hit save, right? Okay, so now when we have a surface, you know, or something we want to flow it on, so let's just grab a surface, and I'll just draw it out here, and we'll take that and change it there. And now you can see I don't have my ISO curves on there, right? At this point, I'll just take this and we'll just job bag it here. I'm going to grab my options right here, right, and then select on here, and now I can go show ISO curves. So now it should be able to see, and I can select this one and do the same thing, show ISO curves. So now show ISO curves will be back on, right? This one, did it? Yeah, show ISO curves. Okay. Maybe because I laid it out there. It says show ISO curves. All right, but anyway, we have it out here, right? So we can go to transform, we can go to smart pattern, we can select our surface right here, and we can scroll down through our patterns, probably down here at the bottom someplace. Let's see, smart pattern, single pattern, scale snake, right? And we'll just go ahead and select that, and we will select it and close that, and there we go. And then we can start doing our manipulation over here. We can add some more U's in there or take away some U's. Oh, I put too many. Now it's going to take forever to update because we just put 13 rows in there, and we'll take it down to, I don't know, 6 rows, and that'll update. And maybe we want some more in the V to kind of get those patterns, you know, whatever. And as you can see, we have we can get a nice little pattern out there, right? And if you wanted to use the texturing for another item or whatever, you could use you could save it in your texturing as well. But there you go. Hopefully that helps, and it's you know, a nice seamless pattern, so you can lay out as many as you want. You can alter it any way you want, and you've got a lot you can do with it. So hopefully that helps, and if it does, please again smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, leave me a like, and absolutely take 5 seconds please and drop a comment in there. Thanks for watching, and good designing.